Hey guys, hey, we are here for our midday pop in. Okay, and when I tell you it's gonna be a pop in, baby, it's gonna be a pop in. All right, we ain't gonna be on here all day. Just long enough to give you guys this news I know you guys can use. Thank you for joining the live. Please do not forget to go ahead and tap that like button. And again, thank you all for supporting. I am Carmen Rail. This is the Carmen Rail Show. Let's get into it. All right, everything said in the video is alleged, in my opinion, and is used for fair use and entertainment. Let's go. As you guys can see on my thumbnail, we will be talking about Chris Brown as well as Diddy. As you guys know, they're going through the jury trial. The jury are going through deliberations right now for this Diddy trial. Today we'll be finding out. Let me put my thing on the back. We'll be finding out if Diddy will be found guilty or not. So we're waiting. This is day 2 of deliberations, and we're waiting. We're waiting to see what's going to happen. Y'all can put in the chat, honey. We'll just do a little poll. Do you guys think that Diddy will walk free? Press 1 if you think he'll be found guilty. Put 2 if you think that he'll walk free. Put a 1 if Diddy will be found guilty. Put a 2 if he'll walk free. All right. Go ahead. Let's judge on that right quick while we go ahead and get into the show. All right. This is a quick pop in. Let's get into it and let's go. All right. First, we're going to go ahead and knock out Chris Brown news because he is in the news. Y'all know he was in court for an assault in the club where he hit a young man with a bottle, with a liquor bottle, okay, across the dome, honey, injuring him. And this young man has sued and pressed charges against Chris Brown. Now, it said that the accuser in Chris Brown's London nightclub case reportedly moves to dismiss the lawsuit, okay? Let's read into what it's saying because, baby, this could be good news for Chris Brown. Hopefully after this incident, he can get some anger management and keep his hands to himself, all right? Okay, so it says that Chris Brown's accuser has reportedly filed to dismiss the lawsuit stemming from an alleged nightclub altercation, but Chris' criminal charges connected to the incident may still be pending, all right? Shout out to Shade Room and TMZ because that's where they're reporting from. Now, in 2023, A. Dial filed a lawsuit against the singer, which is Chris Brown, accusing him of striking him with a tequila bottle at a nightclub in London. However, in my Kimmy voice, on Friday, DR reportedly submitted documents to an LA County judge requesting the case be dismissed. Why is that? Now, it said that the filing indicates DR is seeking a dismissal with prejudice, which prevents the case from being refiled. Now, such dismissals are often the result of a settlement, though it remains unclear whether any financial agreement was involved. I think it was. I think Chris's team reached out to him to say, hey, this is going to hurt my client. What can we do to resolve this outside of court? What amount of money can we write you a check for to make this go away? Now, if we write you a check for this, then you go and file to have this dismissed, meaning that you cannot come after us later on to try to trouble us again with said situation. That is what this is giving, because why, after you file a lawsuit, have him locked up and with no bond and all of this stuff in the beginning, only to now come back and dismiss if you were injured in said incident. I'm pretty sure that the check was nice. Okay, Chris is on tour. He can afford it. So if the judge approves the dismissal, Brown will still face his ongoing criminal case related to the same incident. Now, earlier this year, he was arrested upon arriving in the UK for his world tour and charged with assault and possession of a weapon by local prosecutors. So this may be some good news for Chris Brown that this is a dismissal. However, I do feel that he paid a very hefty fine. Now, he had to pay a very hefty fine to get out of jail. But he also I feel that he paid a very hefty fine for this young man that he injured in the club with this alcohol bottle across his head. All right. His team also, they said, jumped this young man and beat him up real bad. So they said that Chris Brown pleaded not guilty Friday to a charge related to the serious beating of a music producer with a bottle in a London nightclub in 2023. Okay. That's when it occurred. Chris look good in the suit, don't he? Let me go back. Let me find out Chris out here giving Deacon vibes, okay? Deacon Brown over here. All right, so Chris Brown, as you guys can see, was arrested a month ago, in Manchester over the alleged 2023 bottle attack accident. So today may be good news for Chris that the actual lawsuit against him is dismissed. But as far as the criminal charges that's connected to this case, probably not so much. We will keep our ears to the streets on what they say as related to any updates with this Chris Brown case. All right, so Chris goes home today, and we'll see if there's a case later on. All right, let's get up off that. Let's get into some Diddy news because we want to keep this train rolling. What y'all think about it? Oh, let me go back and see what y'all voted on as far as Diddy, because we did do a poll, right? Let me see right quick before we move on. I don't want y'all to vote and then I don't go back and look, right? That's a waste of time. All right, so let's see. 1, if y'all think Diddy is going to be charged guilty, or 2, if he will be free to go home. I see some 1s. I see a 2. I see mostly 1s. I see another 2. I see a bunch of 1s. Okay, TJ Queen 40 million said 1. All right, I see Shelly Madison 2. And you guys are free to vote how you want. Nobody is right or wrong. This is just an opinion. All right, and I want y'all to feel free to vote truly how you want to vote. All right, somebody said bars for him. I know that's right. Simply Mom Family TV said bars, honey. I know that's right. Okay, I see some more 1s. I see some more 1s. Okay, somebody said hopefully 1. Okay, Kim Jones said hopefully 1. All right. It's high. Hey, it's overdue. Diddy been getting away with shit since the 90s. So we're gonna see today. He will know his fate today unless they need another day of, unless something happens with the jury. Unless something happens with the jury and they don't vote right and they got to come back another day and try to shit again. So, but today we're hoping to get an update on the Diddy trial. All right, so let's get into it. It says the jury begins deliberations in Diddy's federal criminal trial. So let's go ahead and read up on what happened today, which is day 32 of trial. Okay. Let's get into it, y'all. All right, Diddy's trial, day 32. Did I say 23? Day 32. A thread jury deliberations will begin today after the judge gives a jury their instructions. Now, he will break down each count and explain what the law says for each one. So, shouting out to the Shade Room for the info on this. Now, it said that the judge breaks down count 1 against Diddy, said that this is the racketeering conspiracy count. He said that the U.S. must have proved that Diddy and at least 1 other individuals formed a racketeering enterprise that impacted interstate commerce and committed at least 2 predicate acts between 2004 and 2014. I think that's been proven. Okay. Yeah. I think that's been proven. Christina Corium. Okay, as well as Diddy. That's 2 right there. And it's been proven also that he was using his businesses in order to funnel money for said acts. So yeah. All right. So I think they're gonna get him on racketeering. I do, but we'll see. The U.S. says that Diddy and the enterprise committed 8 predicate acts, including kidnapping, arson, bribery, forced labor, transportation to engage in prostitution, sex trafficking, witness tampering, and intent to distribute the drugianas. Okay. Now, the judge also explains the 2 counts of sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. We've heard about that force, which we all know that the girls were afraid if they said no, and some of them said they said no. Cassie, when we saw the videotape where Diddy beat her, that was an alleged almost FO. They were getting ready and preparing to do an FO. She was running from the FO because she didn't want to do it. So what we saw in the video was force, fraud, and coercion, because he tried to coerce someone to take money to not report what was seen on the video. Okay, by the security guard when he testified. So that's coercion. Force was what he was trying to get Cassie to do whenever on that video when she was trying to run away and get on the elevator, when he stomped her out, beat her, hit her. That's force. Fraud was what would you do? Fraud was any exchange of money that was also paid, we can say also with the security guard at the thing to say to something else. That he was getting the money for something else. That could be seen as fraud, okay? So it said that the first sex trafficking count is for the trafficking for Cassie Ventura from 2009 and 2018. They can prove that. She's testified on the court, on the stand, is as related to that, okay? Now, the second trafficking count is for Jane from 2021 to 2024. She also admitted that she's traveled several places with the understanding that there would be FOs involved when she arrived at said destination, okay? So they can definitely prove with Jane Doe which is 50 Cent's baby mama, who came forward to testify in this trial as well. Let's continue. Ciao, ciao, ciao. All right. Last page says that the judge instructs the jury on the 2 counts of transportation rather to engage in prostitution. The first count alleges that he transported Cassie across state lines between 2009 to 2018 and SEX workers for SEX Act. We know about that. We've heard about that. All right. It says that the second count alleges that he transported Jane and SEX workers across state lines for SEX acts, and that did happen. They talked about several different hotels that they in different cities and or states that they did these FOs in, where they were transported by not helicopter, but by plane, by car, or by any other means that Diddy used in order to get these people where they needed to. Okay, so they were paid to fly in from certain places to get to a destination to do these FOs. The London Hotel, the Marriott, and all these other places that they were doing these acts. And they could also attest to a lot of these hotels that they can also attest that these situations happened there because they had to spend thousands of dollars because of the mess that they left behind. Each hotel came forward with a bill that they charged Diddy because Diddy oils and all this other stuff, drugs and all this stuff was left behind. And they had to pay a hefty fine in order to fix said room because of FO. So those can be proven. That's evidence right there. Cassie, like I said, testified. Jane Doe has testified. And other people in this trial have testified as well. And I feel like they're going to really lean more into the video with Cassie, where Diddy was seen striking her and AB using her as as showing force, coercion, and prostitution as well. So we're going to see what happens. We're going to see what happens. And we're waiting patiently. I've been refreshing my device all day to see what's going to be said. We don't know as of yet, but as I know, I will get back to you guys as well. All right. That's it for this video, because I told you guys this is a quick live. Oh, let me read this. Let me read this before we go, because this may be more information. All right, so it said that deliberations in Diddy's trial have officially begun on Monday, which is today. Jurors return to court to receive legal instructions from federal judge Irene Subramanian before starting the deliberation process. Now, the jury, which consists of 8 men and 4 women, will go through the 7 weeks of testimony that have occurred in relation to the counts against Diddy. Now, as previously reported, Diddy has pleaded not guilty to federal charges of racketeering, conspiracy, 2 counts of SEX trafficking, and 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Now, last week, the prosecution and defense delivered their closing arguments. So today we will see what they actually come forward to say in terms of guilty, not guilty. I showed you guys what Friday, the jury sheet in terms of what they're going to be asking each jury to go down the line and check off guilty or not guilty. Okay. I read off to you guys what the questions would be for the jury selection. I mean, not selection, but the jury questions in terms of what they will vote on. And we're going to just wait and see. That's all we can do now. Okay. There's no more testimony. Everything has been at a halt until we figure out what the judge and what the judge announces after the jury come back with their deliberations. Okay. So that's it. And that is all. Okay. I appreciate y'all. So I'll be checking back in as we get the verdict. Okay. I'm kind of getting excited. Y'all getting excited? All right. So thank you, Belle Wilson, KBR, Tyra, Scorpion Miss. Thank you so much. True TV Podcast and Rose Armstead for modding. Okay. Thank you to all the content creators that stopped by. And thank you to all of my caramelians. Y'all know I love y'all down. Okay. Please don't forget. I see Purple Unicorn in the building. Says he has done so much that it isn't even a trail. Oh, they got a trail in his ass. Trust that. They have got a trail on him, honey. Yes, they do. Mm-hmm. And the difference between this trial and any other trial is these women are coming forward to testify. That's how R. Kelly got off the first time. Nobody testified. But that second trial, they had testimony, and look at where he is now. 30 years in prison because people spoke up. And Diddy also had people speaking up against him in this trial, and no one spoke up for him. He had no one to testify on his behalf. So we're going to see what it's given. All right. So I'm going to be honest with you. I want him to be found guilty. I know a lot of people may not agree with me, but I feel like Diddy's time is up. You cannot put your hands on women. You cannot make women have FOs because you have this crazy sexual desire or imagination. Like, I'm sorry. Get your ass down there and do an FO. Let somebody plug something up in you and make you, you know what I'm saying, for hours and hours, a person being made to do sexual things that they don't want to do and be places they don't want to be. Time out is for that. because you got daughters, Diddy. So yeah, I do hope he's found guilty, because he does need to be brought to justice for that, because you can't treat women that way, anyone for that matter, anyone that way, because we've heard women and men come forward to say that they were violated by Diddy at some point in time. Okay, so move over, R. Kelly. Diddy is on the way. It is okay. Yes, so thank y'all. Love you guys down. I'll see y'all here later. Okay, I will see you guys later. Be blessed. Hit that like button for me and subscribe. All right, if nothing else, bye.